what would you say your experience with your social life at UCSD was like, 1 to 10?
Like 10 is best?
Yes.
Okay.
Yo, pass the mic over this way. I'm about to be late.
Become aware of one thing. You have everything, but you don't have yourself.
Welcome back to your 12th favorite podcast, Burnin with G.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Burnin with G, episode 8. Welcome back. I'm here today with my very good friend Aditi Vaidya.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So today we're talking about UCSD.
Mm-hmm.
We just finished our quarter yesterday, and with coronavirus, we barely have school next quarter. So we're technically done. So how are you feeling?
Shocked and I guess a little bit disappointed, but mostly still trying to process it all.
Yeah.
Because like we found out very suddenly, they sent out this email in waves to everybody that a lot of classes next quarter would be online.
Facts.
Had no warning before this at all that this would happen, and that was it. Like,
Yeah.
School was technically
We're
over.
done, yeah.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah.
And it really did come out of nowhere. Like
Yeah.
2-3 weeks ago, I was thinking about, I'm so excited for Sun God. We're
Yeah,
gonna throw a
yeah, yeah,
pregame.
yeah,
And
yeah.
all of a sudden now it's just
Yeah.
like everything is canceled.
Everything. Like literally a couple hours before that, I was planning what I was gonna be doing next quarter.
Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen anymore. Yeah.
So I feel like now out of any time is the best time just to like recap our time at UCSD,
Yeah.
and also just to like pass forward knowledge on what we think we could have done better, how we could have just made the experience more worthwhile for us, because it really is an investment, you know, coming to school and being able to have this type of environment where everyone is constantly learning, trying to better the world. It's kind of rare. It is very rare. You're not going to see
We'll never
that.
have this again.
Yeah, and the setting that you have at a university is very rare. And I feel like out of all the things your tuition money goes to, I think that's probably one of the most important parts of it. That you're just surrounded by a lot of knowledge and people who are interested in that. And you know, with that coming to an end, well, let's just go over it right now. So tell me about, you were in, what college were you in?
ERC. So
Okay,
Eleanor
cool.
Roosevelt College.
Okay.
And the way the UCSD college system works, for
Mhm.
like people who don't know about it, is that there are 6 different colleges,
Mhm.
and each one kind of embodies a historical figure and what they represented throughout their life. So Eleanor Roosevelt was very involved on the world stage.
Okay.
So being in ERC is about like being a world citizen. We take language classes. Our core sequence of, I guess, like writing courses is called MMW, or Making
I've
of the
heard
Modern
about
World.
those.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just a lot of writing, history, social sciences, stuff
Nice.
like that. Yeah.
So how would you say that has affected the person you are now, being in that college?
I think like it's not actually related to the courses and stuff that you take. I think the reason that the college is so important is because you live in that college. So the people, most of the people that you meet are people from your college.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is something that you can attest to as well. Is just like so my closest friends my first year were my roommates, and a lot of them I am so close to today.
Nice.
So, and that was all just because we all decided to put ERC on our list somewhere,
True.
or we ended
Very
up there somehow.
coincidental,
Yeah,
yeah.
very coincidental. We ended up there, and that's most of the people that you meet and spend time with.
Mhm.
Yeah. So how about you? Like, how did that affect your experience?
I would say, you know, looking now at my characteristics, like I feel like it's cool to oftentimes be like, all right, this part of me came from, you know,
Yeah.
this time in my life. And I feel like a lot of my open-mindedness thoughts now came purely from the ability that I was to be in Marshall, because coming into college, I at least came in with a very closed mind to it, just like different thoughts and different people, and I was very closed-minded to that. And I feel like DOC, which was what I took, which is diversity of culture, which is like basically all the social justice issues. I just when they ingrained that in you your freshman year, it's just like I was able to actually see the world in such a different lens that I was like, maybe I actually don't know anything about what's going on. And I feel like that really shaped a lot of the people that were around me as well, right? Because you're in high school, you're completely surrounded by a bunch of like homophobic jargon, like that's just like what you're just accustomed to. So like completely seeing it from the opposite side, you're like, whoa, it is possible that what I'm doing even now could be wrong. And I think that was very common across a lot of Marshall students. So
Nice.
you know, talking about socially, you're since you are kind of sectioned off by colleges, like you you're just so much more likely to meet people in your college.
Yeah.
And so I feel like with the fact that you're also kind of more similar, it just becomes a part of who you are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'll always want to say this, like, and you were talking about it earlier, just like, we didn't really understand how important the college system was when we were applying, right? Like, what was the process you went through when you were picking the 6 colleges?
I literally saw who they were all named after. I had just done this project on Eleanor Roosevelt. I was like, she's super cool. I like her. That's gonna be my first choice. I didn't look at all at the GEs. Like, I didn't think about, oh, like, this is a ton of GEs. I'm gonna be an engineering major. Like, maybe it'll be hard to, like, finish in 4 years. Like, and didn't think about anything
all the
like
important
that.
stuff, exactly.
All the actual stuff you should be thinking about. Didn't think about it. Just, because you don't know where you're going to be going either. So, like,
true.
why would I spend time, like, thinking about the college system?
I might go to.
Yeah. So.
No, and I feel like that's something that the newer generation should, at least, if, while you're applying to UCSD, be like, this is actually pretty important.
Very important.
Or I think UCSD should be better about it and let you pick maybe after you get in. I wonder what their entire process is, but it would be cool to see what they do on their end.
Yeah, like a sorting system or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Cool.
Now that we talked about colleges, I feel like the main thing that I hear most people afraid about UCSD when they come here is it really socially dead, right? Is it actually socially dead? So let's talk about that. So what are your thoughts on the claim that UCSD is socially dead?
I think, like, this is actually interesting. The way that the school was designed was to prevent protests and gatherings. So it was designed in a way, to kind of, like, make it socially dead.
Did not know that.
Yeah, because most other schools, like, all the freshmen live together, but here, like, as we were talking about the college system, everyone split up into their colleges, and, like, I remember my first year, my roommates and I would walk a mile to ERC. So we lived in remote. So, like, it would just be just a big hike versus, if everyone lived next to each other, it would have been chill. So things like that, it was designed in that way to, like, kind of be socially dead, but that doesn't actually make the school socially dead.
True.
Because there's just regular people there who are, some people are not that social and some people are more social. Like, it's just, I don't know.
That's true, right?
It's, like, weird, Like, I always thought it was weird because and the school is located in San Diego, which is, like, such a cool place.
Yeah.
There's so much to do here, So, I don't know. I feel like it's what you make of it.
True.
Which I guess it is anywhere.
Yeah. Right? And
like, you could go to a school that people say are like, oh, it's super lit here, but if you just stay in your room all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
No, I do agree with you. I actually never thought about that. It's like, how much of it is your environment affecting you, right? Because there is a part to it. And this is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. It's like, when you think of a quote-unquote lit party, I've seen 2 types of people. And this is just something I think is very interesting. Super off topic. But there's some people who make the party lit. It doesn't matter what is going on around them, but they're the lit person themselves. And then there's some people who are only lit if this entire surrounding around them is exactly the way they want it. And I feel like more and more people I meet they fall under that class, where they only have fun if all the conditions are exactly the way they want it. But they're not the people who are actually allowing other people to have fun because they're fun, right? And I feel like that's what we're talking about right now, where it's like, it's not really a socially dead place if you're the one who brings the fun to the place, If you're purely, you derive it based on your environment, then I can see how it could potentially be socially dead for you.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, other than that, there's also the whole thing that there's no, like, Greek life, like, people who live on campus.
That's true.
I guess you're part of a frat, so you know more about this, and we can go into that, I guess, a bit later. But, like, other schools, there's frats, or there's, like, people throwing parties or events that are on campus, like, easy for you to go to, whereas we would have to Uber and stuff. Like, it was always...
These RSOs crazy.
Yeah, like, and the RSOs on campus are kind of crazy. Like, I've heard people who go to other schools have a different experience in that regard, where like, their campus police officers are more lenient and they're just like, like, do what you want, and like, they have parties or places that they could go at night or during the day that are just much easier to access. So
that makes sense.
In that way, yes, like, but I don't know, I really feel like it's what you make of it.
Like, what would you say? Would you say your experiences were quote unquote socially dead?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I would say, most people I've talked to wouldn't say that. At some point, they found friends and they hung out with
and you
them.
like, all you need is,
I don't know anybody who's like,
time.
this school is so socially dead that I literally could not even have friends. Like, I don't know anyone like that.
And I feel like if you are saying that, that might just be a result of you or, like, your personal experience, and, like, it's unfair to put that on the school. Like, it's not the school's fault. It's kind of like maybe other circumstances that affected you. Like, I'm not saying, like, oh, that's you. Like, you were just an unsocial person. It's just like, that's just what happened to you. Could have happened here, could have happened somewhere else.
Could have, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I know I met a lot of people, like, first year especially, who were like, oh, like, I ended up here, but I could have been at, I don't know.
Jesus.
Like, you know, like, NY, or like, some other school, but it's like, I mean, like, make the best of it. I don't know. Like,
no, I understand. No, definitely.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people I have met who at first felt like, because I 100%, when I got here for the first 2 or 3 months, I was very sad, because I was like, I literally don't know a lot of people.
Yeah,
and
no, for sure.
my original conception of what college would be like, which was like Blue Mountain State. Have you ever seen that show?
No.
Okay, it's this Netflix show. It's super funny. It's just like a bunch of people on a football team just partying all the time.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what college would be like. And with that expectation, I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
But slowly, your body just, your mind just adapts to it, and you're like, okay, this is what my life is about, And I think the people who do at first feel that type of loneliness, they turn to organizations, or they turn into like group life. And so let's talk about that now.
Yeah.
So you were very involved for 4 years in, what was the dance team, man?
Yeah, so as part of Pushpanjali, it's a classical Indian dance team.
Represent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like I joined that my first year, and that was just something that I wanted to continue because I've always done classical dance, and I was like, oh, here's an organization of people who will be doing that as well. And it's been really cool because you meet a lot of people, I guess, with a similar interest, and that's just like a group of people that you always know, like, oh, like, there's a group of people I can go out with or can be doing things with at all times. Like, you make a group of friends, like, if that makes sense. Yeah.
You guys just went to a competition recently, right?
Yeah, we went to Washington, D.C.
Nice.
It was cool. It's actually, like, weirdly, we went to a competition. I remember I was telling you this earlier, like, in Cleveland earlier, and you would think that, like, D.C. would be more fun than Cleveland. And D.C. itself as, like, a place was super cool, but the competition itself, I'd say we had, like, a really good time at our first competition.
Nice.
Maybe that was just the general, like, vibe of us as a team, too.
Yeah.
But it's just been really cool, like, traveling and stuff.
Yeah, that must be fun.
Yeah.
That's definitely a very bonding experience.
Yeah, for sure.
So would you say that, from freshman year, would you say a lot of your friends came from that organization? Or?
So I'd say, like, I've made a good number of friends, like, from, like, through dance. And I guess my first year, actually, I wasn't that close to anyone on the dance team. And most people on the team, like, weren't that close with each other. We just go to practice, then we, like, dip. Cause I guess we all had friends outside of it, or we just, like, I don't know, like, it was weird. We just, like, wouldn't all interact with each other. But starting second year, like, we all started getting closer and stuff. Cool. So it was cool. Yeah, there's always, like, issues, I guess, that come with being on a team.
True.
Yeah, like, such as there's, like, a lot of drama. Yeah, so I guess it's pros and cons, in a sense. Like, you have this group of people with whom you bond and stuff. And I'm not part of, like, the type of org that is, like, all-consuming, I guess, because I know that, like, you've had experience with this too.
Are those,
yeah, like, other dance teams and stuff, or other orgs where this is your whole social circle. Like, this is everyone that you know, like, everyone that you spent all your time with. And I feel like that sometimes tends to, like, create drama. We had drama too, like, for sure. But I guess you take it for what it is, I mean... So,
my freshman year, I rushed a frat, TKE. And I think I am very glad that I was able to have gone through that experience, because it taught me a lot. Just being part of a frat for my entire freshman year, I feel like, just taught me a lot about my own self-worth, like what really mattered to me, and just my priorities of why I was even in college to begin with.
So, like, in what way?
Yeah, let me explain. So, I feel like frats, and I've noticed this a lot as I saw the way they recruited, little kids, basically. It's like, you come in as a freshman, you're 18, some people are 17, you're, like, excited, you want to meet new people, you're very impressionable.
Yeah.
And these frats hit you at that perfect time when they know you're very vulnerable and lonely, and they're like, you want everything, you want girls, you want, to have fun, you want everything, just come join us. We're just going to put you through some weird stuff, but you're going to come out and you're going to be so happy. And I really feel like, I think about it now, and it's like, when you're a freshman, and that's just like a really terrible thing to do to somebody, like, I feel like they should at least only target, like, sophomores and greater. They should at least let you develop a little bit, like, maturity-wise, because otherwise you're like, I need this frat so I can be validated, and that's a terrible reason to be in a frat. And so I think something I think a lot about was just, like, my thought process of how I even chose a frat, right? I literally asked people around me, I was like, which ones are the coolest frats? And it was Pike, Sigma, Chi, and T. And they told me that those are the big three. And I was like, okay, the only ones where there seems to be a few other Indians are Teak. So here I am. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't know anything about any of the people in it. It was just purely based on like what was cool, and that is what you will care about when you're a freshman.
Yeah.
But you talk to people who are a little older, and you see that that doesn't really matter. You really figure it out pretty quickly. Like it doesn't matter how cool the frat is. What's more important is
what is the word cool?
Cool.
Like
Yeah,
what does that mean?
What does that even mean?
Yeah, because I heard like the same frats were like the cool ones or the ones that threw like the best parties. But like in what way? Like I went to other parties and
they were fun too.
It was all the same. Like
no,
like every frat party is basically the same. Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you ask older people and they actually care about who's in it. Like what are the friends and relationships that I'll actually make and be, which is all that actually matters.
Yeah.
And I think the more you focus on that part, the better decision you'll make when it comes to fraternities. And I definitely did not do that as a freshman. So I dropped out my, I think freshman, my fall quarter of sophomore year or winter quarter, and I would say my life has definitely turned for the better since. But I am very happy that I was able to do it, because otherwise it'd always be like, oh, I wonder what it would have been like. I wonder, I was able to experience it, get, learn some knowledge from it, and then move on.
Cool,
right?
yeah.
But you were never in a sorority. What was your experience like not actually being part of it? How do you think that was?
Yeah.
Was that ever something you ever thought about doing?
I feel like I heard about other people's experiences in sororities, and like some of my close friends rushed, and I just felt like personally I didn't see myself
being in that,
into the process. Like I heard of what it was like. Basically, you spend a whole day like talking to tons of people for hours and hours and hours. I don't know, just the way that it seemed kind of manufactured, or that was my experience. I know that tons of people have had like wonderful experiences with sororities, but that's like what I thought, and that's like why I guess I didn't rush.
Manufactured is a great word. I think that's like the perfect word that describes it.
Yeah, or that's just what I thought, and I don't want to offend people with this.
That makes sense.
I know lots of people who've had wonderful experiences in sororities, but I don't know. Like it just didn't seem like it would have been for me.
So for you, yeah.
Yeah, and I think like I had joined my dance team, and like we joked about like giving ourselves like sorority names, or like having like bigs and littles. Like in the end, like that was enough for me. I was like, okay, like I don't need, I guess. Yeah, and I joined like other orgs related to my major, like BMES, and that was also, I feel like every org that isn't a frat, like they joke about being a frat, if that makes sense.
I have heard that.
Yeah, so like it was, I don't know, it was enough. I was like, okay, like I don't need, because I feel like the reason a lot of people join frats or sororities their freshman year is to like party, to get into parties, and for girls, like you don't need that. Yeah. So I never felt, I guess, the need to, because I know for guys, like I've heard that that's
way
like,
different.
Yeah, like you kind of need to be in a frat. Yeah.
I would say until I turned 21, my college was purely dependent on like, when I was in a frat, it was like, alright, there's a party, so at least I know that I can do something. But then once I dropped out and until I turned 21, I was partying a lot less, because it is definitely, as a dude going to UCSD, it is a lot harder to party if you're not in a fraternity. Yeah. Once you turn 21, game over.
It doesn't matter.
You want to dance any day, you can go to a club. And it really opens up a lot of, it makes you think, it's like, why were these people still in the fraternity and partying, going to frat parties, when they could have just been dancing, or they could have just actually been going to clubs? Like, I saw so many seniors, this was the weirdest thing. They would literally have a celebration with each other when they hook up with freshmen. They would literally be like, yo, like how many freshmen this party, and it was just like such a, like the more older and older I get, I'm like, that is actually weird. Yeah. That's actually a problematic thing where it's like, there's a huge maturity gap, and it's like just purely just taking advantage of it.
It's because only freshmen usually go to frat parties.
Frat parties to begin with.
After a certain point, I feel like most people are over it.
Yeah.
Like, so junior year, senior year, you're like, I'm not down for that anymore. Because I know like some younger friends would be like, oh, like frat parties.
Yeah, frat parties, like not down. Yeah. So what were your experiences with them? What were your experiences with frat parties? Plus minus 10 to 1. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best.
I think it always, like, the frat party itself, it ranged, but the best part to me would be, like, going with my friends. Like, we'd be like, wow, this party's kind of lame. Yeah. We jump to another one. This one's kind of lame, too. We jump to another one. Eventually, we'd all end up at McDonald's at, like, 2 a.m. That would be the best part.
The experience.
It would just be the whole experience. Like, I guess my favorite part of, like, going to these parties was, like, meeting people and like talking to them, because like some people were really funny, like
Yeah,
it's really
yeah,
funny, like
yeah.
sometimes talking to these people, and then like my friends and I would like talk about it afterwards, or we'd be like we'd give people like nicknames, like fun, I don't know, like it would just be fun talking about the experience, I guess, as a whole, rather than like while you're in the experience you're kind of like, wait,
True.
like what am I
That
doing?
is
Like,
very
what's going
true,
on?
actually.
But afterwards when you talk about it, you're like, oh, remember like this day when we did this and we
Yeah.
met that one guy or something, like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's
No,
talking
no,
about it
yeah.
afterwards that like made the experience kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
The one thing I really hated was I was so annoyed with how little people dance. Because
You still talk about this.
I will never forget. It's just,
Yeah.
I joined the friend, I was super excited. I had this one friend, my boy Rookie, and he was the one who like exposed me to the whole world that dancing is fun. Like you
Yeah.
could dance at parties and it's super fun. And
Yeah.
he would be the one person I would know that would get super lit, and everybody else would just be drunk and talk. That's it. And the dancing would be a very minimal. And if they played music, they'd play EDM or they'd play some like average music. I heard Closer at least 1,000 times. I was like, I cannot do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
it was like that helped me a lot. Just be like, I'm really over this, because I don't want to just sit and talk. Like, no, everybody's so drunk, like no one's saying anything of any worth. Like people are just like, like, did you know the sky is blue? Like, yes, I did know the sky is blue. Thank you.
I feel that.
So you not only did your dance team, you also were in a BMES. Am I correct? So what was that?
It's a biomedical engineering society.
Cool.
It's like an academic org. I think like one thing I really kind of lacked my first and second year was like exposure to other bioengineers. Like I felt kind of like a fraud. I don't know if fraud is the right word, but like I know I was telling you this earlier, but like I like whenever I tell people, oh, I'm a bioengineer, like a lot of people, there's an instant like, oh, kind of reaction, because they think that, I don't know, bioengineering is like a smart sounding type of major. But honestly, I felt like my first and second year, I felt kind of fake saying it, because I was like, I just take like math and science classes right now. Like I don't know any bioengineers, I don't know what I'm doing, kind of. But through joining this org, I feel like the best part of it was like gaining a bigger sense of confidence in my major, like meeting other people in the major, and like having opportunities to, like, I joined a project team through it, which eventually led to me getting my first job in a lab.
Oh, nice.
So it's all like it was like a progression of,
Okay, cool.
I guess, experiences.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you recommend people joining some sort of organization that promotes their major? Or
I
something
think
they're
so.
interested in studying? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because I mean, people join these orgs for different reasons. Like, you can join it as, like, a way to meet people and, like, socialize with them, which there's aspects in each org, I feel like, of that. Or you can you can join the org to kind of advance yourself professionally. Like, I think it's a good idea. I don't know, because you did not do
I
that,
didn't,
think?
no, yeah, so I didn't-
So what was your experience with that?
Yeah, so one thing I was a mathematics and computer science major.
Okay.
One thing I did like about being
We star.
yes,
kind of.
yes, true. Well, I did like that in computer science, you're able to take classes from the very first quarter. So from as soon as I got here, I felt like I'm doing something towards, something that I'm interested in and
Nice,
interested
yeah.
pursuing. And then as I went through it, I was like, I don't really like computer science, and I really fell in love with math. And yeah, I do regret it a little bit that, that is something I wish I did take more part in, where I did meet more mathematicians and just like people who were interested in the field. That was something I just never. I always felt out of place. That was something that I never felt like I fit the role. I would be in this class, and I'm not stupid, and these people are geniuses,
Yeah.
And I would just always be like, wow, like, and I think that's a big part of joining any of these organizations. You have to feel like you belong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to feel like what you have to say is worthy, and what you bring to the table is the same as the other people there. And even if it's not at the very beginning, you have to believe that eventually you'll get there.
Yeah.
And I think it took me so long to have that mentality for myself that if I had come into freshman year thinking, hey, even if I'm not really smart right now, eventually I can be able to be at the same table with these other people, then I think I would have been more likely to have joined an organization than me being like, I'm never going to fit in with those people, so why even try?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So if I could go back one more time, I would definitely join like some sort of like math Olympiad team or something. It would be
Yeah, for
really
sure,
exciting.
yeah.
So now that we did a recap of all of that, why don't we talk about just like looking back at it now in hindsight? What are things that we ourselves could have done better, right? And to just like make our experience more fulfilling, right? So what are some things that you think you could have, if you had one more run at it, would have done differently?
I think like definitely from the get-go, I would have put in more effort to try in classes, because I think
Tell me about that.
yeah, because I actually think, like, I feel like for most people it's like you try hard your freshman year and then you start to try less, but for me it was like kind of the other way, because like
definitely.
freshman year, like at least personally in high school, like I wouldn't have to put in that much effort and I would still like do fairly well. And I thought that's something that could continue into college, but it like
Not at all.
yeah, did not
Yeah.
work out for me at all. So just like attending class, like studying for tests more.
Yeah.
I just wish I'd done that.
Yeah. That's something I think about a lot, because every time I talk to my mom, she's like, you never go to class. Like, how do you know how well you'd do if you had gone to class? And this is something I always respond. I don't think if I go to class, I would do any better. But because it really does matter, like, how you learn. And I think, if anything, for me, if I could have gone back, I wish I understood that concept more. Like, it's not like you only learn well by going to class.
Yeah,
but
no, for sure.
by going to office hours, or actually like asking questions or reading the textbooks or whatever you have to do, like experimenting from a young age so you can figure out how you learn, I think is what would have been very helpful for me.
Yeah, no.
You know?
Because I see like people in class, like they go, like I have some friends who go to every single class, but like they'll be in class and just like on their laptop, like shopping, or like doing something else, and like I just don't think that makes sense. Like if the professor isn't good or it's not like an engaging class, I just won't go.
Yeah.
But then my freshman year, I just applied that to everything and I just wouldn't go
Yeah,
to anything.
God,
like
no,
just like oh
Yeah.
But like I think it makes sense to go if like you'll take notes, like you'll learn something the first time. It's definitely helpful. Like taking advantage of other resources for sure, also helpful. No, I really wish we'd done that for sure.
So let me think. If I had to run this back? I think one thing I would have done for sure is, oh, there we go. Got it. If I had another opportunity, I think being able to get involved in research, especially the fact that this is a research university, I think that is the biggest advantage of going to a school like this. And I think
for sure.
No matter what school you go to, understanding the pros and cons of that school and then actually attacking those pros is important, because not every school is good at the same things.
Yeah.
Right? And each school has its own, niche of what it's really good at. And UCSD is really good at a lot of its bio and medical research.
For sure.
And no matter what field you're in, there will be research being done, at least, in that field. So going, and this was what I did, I only started doing this my junior and senior year. I would literally go to the email websites, find every single professor and just mass email. Like, it would be kind of formulated for them, and I would just send these emails to all the professors. And if you send it to enough, at least one will respond, And that's what happened every single time. And I was able to get involved in research, and that gives you so much practical skills that you'll never get in class, you know? But that doesn't mean all the theory that you learn in class is also useless. It's really good to have both at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think if I could have done that from my very first quarter, not even, like, if someone had explained to me, your grades don't even matter, just literally try to do research every quarter and you'll learn so much that you will be set for the rest of your life, that you don't need to do well in school, like, grade-wise.
Yeah.
Right? And I think if that was more, I was more aware of that, I think that would have helped me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like for me, I joined a lab my second year after just emailing a ton of professors as you did, but it wasn't like, I feel like it wasn't with the intent of actually like learning about a certain form of research. It was just mostly because I was like, I need research. Like I just had heard that like everyone worked in a lab, like everyone that I knew was part of some lab, so I was like, I need to be part of the lab too. So I just started emailing professors at random.
Okay.
And then I got lucky with the lab that I was in, and like I'm still in it now.
Nice.
But I think about that sometimes where I'm like, I'm at a research university and I've only ever had experience with this one lab. Like I didn't like kind of take advantage of that. Yeah, like other labs or other types of research, which I feel like would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Because there is really cool stuff being learned in almost
cool stuff.
every field, right? Yeah. And it is crazy because they're all very disconnected from each other. So it is nice to know what's going on in other fields as well.
For sure.
Research is cool. It is a whole different way of thinking. Like, I sometimes talk to my dad about it because he only has a bachelor's, and he always explains to me when he's working with PhD students and stuff. It's like, even if you're tackling the same problems, the way they problem solve or the way they think about things are just completely different from the way like a person with just their bachelor's may go about problem solving. And I think that goes very hand in hand with research, because while you're getting your PhD, you're actually adding to the knowledge base. You're not just like learning a bunch of stuff and like spewing it back out. You're actually coming up with new information, which is crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is definitely a very useful thing I think I would have done back. Another one, I was thinking about this earlier, is rec classes. I feel like I took one rec class for salsa dancing. No, not salsa, swing dancing. And it was
really?
it was only $45 for literally 2 classes every week for 10 weeks. Hours of dancing, and it's just so affordable, and at the same time it's a lot of fun, and you meet a lot of people, like talking about the social stuff. Did you ever take a rec class?
No, I didn't. And I know like you'd always be like, hey, let's take a rec class next quarter, and it just like, I guess never happened.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Same with the hikes. Like, we have so many beaches. I think that if I had just like been more, you know, like dedicating time every week to be like, all right, I'm going to go to the beach this time every week. Just for your mental, just for everything. I think if San Diego offers all of that. There are beaches literally 5 minutes across the street, you know, and it's just on you to go and actually take advantage of that.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of goes into another thing I wish I'd done, or like even as recently as this year, because of this whole coronavirus situation, like we don't get our spring quarter, and I feel like there were so many things that I wanted to do, like that I was pushing off, because I always feel like I always push things off to like you know, like, oh, I'll attack it tomorrow, like I do it tomorrow, and I was always like, oh, spring quarter, I'll like go to the beach more, I'll hike more, I'll do this more, I'll do that more, and then like we don't get a spring quarter.
True.
And now I feel like it really shows us that we should have taken advantage of our time, because shoot, we're not gonna get to do it now. Yeah, which really sucks.
It does. No. As time slowly comes to an end, it's just like there is. I mean, there isn't anymore. But that's just, now you just have to use that knowledge that, hey, like, to really take advantage of something, you just have to always keep looking for ways to do that. And I think I really want to touch on a point. I totally forgot that you said that about knowledge, that I think is super important. If I had actually appreciated knowledge for what it is when I first came to college, it would have been so amazing. You know, I feel like I didn't have any respect for just the art of just knowing cool stuff, just for the sake of knowing cool stuff, just because, you know, it's fun. And understanding knowledge from that angle allows all this stuff to be so much cooler. Like, you walk into Geisel, and for a second you just sit and think, there are literally thousands and thousands of years of knowledge and books in this building that I could spend my whole life reading and only get through 1 floor. And there's 8 floors. Just like sitting there with that knowledge makes Geisel so much cooler than, alright, I'm just here to study, like, screw this place, I hate Geisel. You know what I mean?
No. I totally know what you mean.
And it's like, I didn't think like that until when I was getting closer to graduating, maybe like a year ago, where I was like, UCSD actually has a lot of cool resources, professors, teachers, books, like,
for sure.
You know?
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of the time, like when we're learning in school, it's very, our focus is very narrow-minded, in that we're like, okay, like this is what I need to know for the test. Like, I don't need this section. It's not gonna be on the test, so I'm just like, not even gonna think about it. Like, I don't even know.
100%.
Like, it's never gonna come up again. Like, I'm done. But I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that's not how knowledge should be, or like that's not how we should approach it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And to like really maximize it, right? And I think that is something that coming into it, I don't know how exactly you would explain that to someone for them to just, you can't tell them one sentence and be like, oh my god, you're totally right. You know, it's something that you kind of have to be brought up with and really just like for a long period of time really appreciate.
Yeah.
And then you slowly, that just becomes your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right?
Or like thinking about knowledge. Yeah.
Just like in a more positive way, like it's not like a means to an end. It is the end itself. You know, it's not like I want knowledge.
Okay, yeah, no.
For money.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, because I feel like this also comes with like where we grew up, maybe, because we were always thinking about college. Like, there was always an end goal to everything that we did. Like, we studied for tests to get good grades to go to college. Like, it was always like, it wasn't like, oh, let me learn this just to learn to know about something.
Exactly.
Like, it was always like, oh, like, I'm gonna do this. Like, it was very analytical and like very planned. Like, every single thing we did, we were like, okay, like, I'm gonna put this on my college app. Like, I'm gonna put this. Like,
it was weird.
Yeah, my GPA is dependent on this. That's why I'm gonna do it. It wasn't like, oh, like, let me just do this for fun, kind of.
Yeah, I still feel that sometimes with my resume. I'm like,
for sure.
I want to understand more if I'm doing this for myself or if I'm doing.
For my resume,
but yeah, that is definitely something I would recommend. You know, if I could go see myself when I was younger, be like, yo, start asking yourself these questions.
Yeah.
You know. All right, so let's make this interesting. I have a game to propose.
All right.
So how about I just say a bunch of random topics that we could talk about, and we'll start with you giving me a ranking from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Okay?
Okay, you do the rankings as well?
Yes.
Okay,
And we can
we'll
see what we both think
compare.
about it. Alright?
Okay, alright.
So they're not going to be fully random. I have a few ideas. Alright.
Okay.
So here, what would you say your experience with your social life at UCSD was like? 1 to 10.
Like 10 is best?
Yes.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Oh shit!
Hey, okay, I see you. Alright.
Wait,
Alright. Next.
okay.
What would you say your experience with your living conditions on campus were like? Boom.
8.5.
Interesting. Why 5?
I mean, the dorm freshman year was like really old and really small. I had a great time though, because I like loved my roommates.
True.
But we were like really gross together. So,
Like
but
messy?
then like messy and yeah.
I
dirty.
was that messy roommate.
Yeah, we were all the messy
Oh,
roommate, which
damn.
made it worse in our
Uh-oh.
tiny like
Uh-oh.
shoebox room.
Uh-oh.
So in that sense, but like how I enjoyed the experience, 10.
True. That's why the
Oh,
condition
8.5.
itself was. I was in a triple in a
Yeah.
tiny room.
Yeah.
But the bonds that it did.
The bonds,
create
yeah,
was
were great,
You know?
but we were disgusting. So,
Peru.
so.
That's funny. All right, next one. This is a pretty general one. What would
Okay.
you say your overall experience at UCSD was like? Boom.
Oh,
Hey, okay.
I feel like you can't say 10.
You can't say 10, but you. That's why, but it's almost up there.
Yeah, it's like up there.
Because
yeah.
the crazy thing about life is it can't be better, you know? Like you could always say it's better, but
Yeah.
it just is what it is right now.
It was-
and
yeah.
it is pretty great.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
Okay, so now let's do some ranking situations.
Okay.
Alright, so one of the most important things of a college student's life is their eating habits. So why don't
Okay.
we rank top 3 dining halls?
I have a lot of thoughts.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, go.
Okay. Boom.
Okay.
6.
OBT. Oh, that's what it's
Marshall.
called. OBT. There.
I have to rep Marshall. They have the pizza. Their pizza is very good.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say Cafe V or the
You
Warren
work
one.
there.
I work there.
So that's a
What an
tough
experience.
one.
Yeah.
The one
but-
place I haven't eaten at is the place where they sell the sushi. The bistro. I have not eaten there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wait, I didn't even see. I don't even remember all of these
Yeah.
things. The bistro is really nice.
Oh, I heard.
Because you get to use dining dollars and
True.
you feel like you're eating.
Oh.
But
Six?
Foodworks?
I have not eaten there before.
the best one.
Really?
Yes.
I actually.
I mean,
need to eat
everyone like constantly was hating on it, but they had really good pizza.
there.
I really
Interesting.
enjoyed it.
I do need to go there then.
Yes.
Okay, the next one. Let's rank PC. Right?
Okay.
What are the 3 best eating places in PC?
Okay. It sounds like an attack, but not a lie.
Boom.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Yeah. Santorini's. I
Lemongrass,
forgot the name.
Santorini's. Subway's always good. Subway's always it.
Oh, Tapex. Okay. No, lemongrass was sad face though. Do you see that they changed it? I mean, I
Yes,
guess it
but you
doesn't
didn't
matter.
mind it? You didn't
No,
like
'cause,
it?
I mean, I'm
It's in the
vegetarian.
front.
They never have vegetarian food anymore.
They removed their vegetarian.
Yeah,
Totally
they were
forgot.
like, oh, sometimes we'll have vegetarian stuff, and I was like, when? They never
Oh,
do.
when? That's
Yeah.
tough. Okay, the next one. Let's talk about some San Diego things because that is a huge part of our lives,
It is.
right?
Especially like in the later years, I feel like
Definitely.
once we got cars.
Cars,
Yes.
game difference. All right,
Cars.
let's talk about
Naturally, right?
your 3 favorite beaches to go to. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Boom. Mission
Okay.
Beach, Blacks, Shores.
Okay, I feel like these are just the ones I've had the fondest memories at.
Oh, okay.
Cause like Mission Beach, like this past
True.
summer,
That was
we went
fun.
to a wedding there. It was like so much
True.
fun. Yeah. Blacks freshman year,
A
so
lot,
many
yeah.
sus nights. Yeah. Shores, also
Clutch.
like
Yeah. I would personally like Shores a lot, but it's
Yeah.
still 3rd on my list
Oh,
because
the
you
Cove. Yeah, I didn't
can
think about that. Uh-huh.
because you can have fire pits there.
Yeah, like all
which
the
is-
bonfires.
Yeah, all
on
the
shores, for
bonfires
sure.
are super lit there. Okay, next question. Let's see what I got in my handy dandy notebook. Let us talk about our favorite nightlife.
Okay.
We have 3 different districts that most people go to: Pacific Beach, Downtown, and Hillcrest.
Yes.
Rank your top 3. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Boom. PP
Okay,
Hillcrest
so
downtown.
okay.
Hey, we almost had the same one. Okay, so why would you say Hillcrest over downtown?
I think it just depends, because like downtown is fun. I feel like for events, like someone's birthday or
True.
something, you're like, okay, let's
That's
go
true,
downtown.
like, nice
it's
when
like,
it's nice.
like nicer, it's like fancier. But like Hillcrest is like welfare.
More fun. True.
Yeah, it's like fun.
Well, yeah. I personally don't really like Riches, but I like the second one. Right? It's Riches
Which
and
one's
then the other
Riches?
one.
Is that the bar?
I think Riches is the first one. Yes.
Where they play like old music.
Oh, Flicks is the second one. Yes, I do like Flicks a lot. Oh, wait.
Wait,
I think
Riches is the one with the sign, because the sign is like I'm at Riches.
Oh, okay. I do like Riches then. I don't like.
That's the
Flicks.
one with the dance.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Okay, alright.
Okay.
Next question. What is your favorite Mexican place to eat at? Out of all the ones here. Alright, ready, set, go.
Taco stand.
Primo's Cantina.
Okay. What's
Alright.
that?
Primo's Cantina is... I just go there a lot. Like, literally, they have these monster burritos for $12. It's
Ooh.
2 meals. I'm like...
Sponsored? Question mark.
Yes, exactly. It's so good.
Okay.
Definitely get the Cali monster burrito. It's it. What about that place? I have been there once, but
Taco
the line
stand.
was so long.
Yeah, it's like really popular. Not super authentic, I would say, but I really like it because they have vegan options.
That's nice. That yeah.
Good. Yeah. But
true.
for most people, it probably wouldn't matter. So.
True. Okay, next one. What is your favorite South Asian place to eat?
Okay.
Taste the
3, 2, 1.
Himalayas.
Yeah. Taste the
Boom.
Himalayas.
This is the only restaurant when we went there, we were actually able to sit on the ground and eat
Super
some of
cool.
the best,
Yeah. Best.
Nepali food ever.
Yeah.
I was very down.
Super good.
I definitely highly recommend Taste the
Taste the
Himalayas.
Himalayas, for
Another
sure.
sponsor. Okay, last question. What is your favorite East Asian place to eat at? Two, one. Boom. What did you write? You can't read what you wrote at all. What did you write?
Friend's House. It's this
Never
Korean
been there.
place in
Where's
Conway.
that? Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
super good.
They have Korean food has
Korean
vegetarian
food.
options?
I mostly just get the kimchi soup every time, but I recently went there and I got like 3 other things with friends and they were all good.
Oh,
so
wow. Cool. Yeah, I actually do not eat a lot of Asian food. Do you like pho? I know that's
no,
a
I
big
don't.
one.
I don't like pho that much because like vegan pho is not that good.
Ew.
Yeah. Or like yeah. So my opinion of all these things is like they're meatless
Very
options.
different. That's
so,
true.
Yeah.
You do have a very. We need a whole vegan conversation. to
Yeah,
have
yeah,
later.
yeah.
But cool. Okay.
Cool.
Well, thank you for coming on the show
Thank
today.
you for
I really
having me.
appreciate that. It was really good to just recap everything that's happened in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to just spend some time thinking about it, because especially if we don't have graduation, I feel like that closure may not necessarily come. So
Yeah.
like through having conversations like this with our friends and the people around us, I think we can really like have like a nice finish, even though we're gonna be at home. Like we're not gonna ever really feel like an actual finish to
Yeah.
this. So I think I'm really glad that we were able to have this
This
conversation.
has
So
been nice.
I would like to have a coronavirus sponsored handshake.
Oh no, it's actually like
Oh, it's like
actually
this.
elbows.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Burnin with G. Catch me next time. We out.